Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, good morning, everybody. What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct here on a Thursday morning. We're not live, man, but this is actually recorded, man. But hey, we're here to talk some hockey today, because we usually do stuff during the night, but hockey today. And we got on tap, we got our main man, Dan K, the hockey dude. Good morning, Dan. How are you, sir? What's going on?
Woo! Good morning, Kevin. What's up, brother? First of all, I just want to get in. You know, I'm not the Rolex wearing, jet flying, limousine riding, son of a gun, but I am the two-time Sports Chasers football pick'em back-to-back champion. So with that being said, D-Dubs, I heard your interview backstage. I just want to let you know, brother, I gave you free 5 wins. I picked the Steelers the last 5 weeks of the season. So one thing, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Amen.
I swear to God, I did not expect that. I did not expect that. You say,
you started? I'm sorry. I had a dude come to the door. He's trying to sell me packages for Ranger playoff tickets. Sorry about that.
Well, Ric Flair came in your spot, man. Dan, that was awesome, bro. That was awesome, man. Yes, Dan is our two-time CBS Pick'em football champion. He has won 2 years in a row. The hockey dude has won 2 years in a row. And yes, he has won 2 years in a row. So, hey, man, let me give him another round of applause, man. Let me give him another round of applause. Before we get started, man, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you hit the bells for all the notifications. And on the podcast side, y'all give us that 5-star review. 5-star review on the podcast side, man. So we appreciate you, man. Thank y'all so much. Dan, what's up today? What's going on, man? You
not much, brother. D-Dub is okay?
Yeah, he's okay. He's behind the scenes, man, doing this thing, man. So D-Dubs is producing the show today, man. So he's behind the scenes, man. But thank you, man.
Well, I guess we could start with the top power rankings, which is kind of wild considering like where some of these teams were like last year. If you think about it, Caps, they're number 1. They're 29, 10, and 5. I believe they play Ottawa later this evening.
Okay.
But like they what? I want to say they snuck into the playoffs last year. You know, as the wild card. But like, man, they're doing it. They keep winning. They keep playing well. We got Ovi. He's on the watch for breaking Gretzky's record. He's 22 away.
22 away.
They played 44 games up to this point, so they got 38. And like, I saw where he didn't score yesterday, but the game prior to that he scored, and it was his 20th. And I want to say that's like 20 seasons in a row of 20 goals.
Wow,
which is crazy. I mean, he is just on a different level. Like normally when players get to that end of the career, like 20 years in, even kind of like Crosby, both of them, they're still playing at a high level. And that just attributed to, you know, what they put into the game and conditioning and all that. But yeah, the Caps, they're number one. Number two, I got Vegas. They're 29-12-3. They're leading the Pacific. Then I got Winnipeg Jets. They're 30-12-3. They're ahead of the top team in the Central. Let's see. They're 6-2-2 in their last two and 1-2 in a row. So they've been playing well as of late. Then this is one of the other anomalies that we talked about last year with the horrible start that the Oilers got.
Yes.
That apparently they've learned something because they're number 4 at 27-13-3. They're kind of hot lately, 7-2-1. I actually watched. They won 3 in a row, but I actually watched them play Minnesota last night. And McDavid, oh my goodness, like
That's a bad dude.
He's like the things he can do at the speed he does them. Like he scored a goal. It was a 2-on-1, and he kind of went a little bit wide because the defenseman dropped, so he couldn't pass it. And he just roofed one right short side over the goalie's shoulder, and clank under the bar. And I was just like, just effortlessly. But they've been playing way better. Got themselves in the second in the Pacific. They're only 2 points behind Vegas. So kudos to them for learning from last year. And then number 5, this is kind of I wouldn't say dark horse, but kind of. But the Kings, they're 24-12-5. They're third in the Pacific with 53 points. Like they got Kopitar. I think Doughty has been out. I think their goalie's been out, but they've been quietly you don't hear a lot of talk about the Kings, or they don't have per se big stars that everybody talks about, but they've been playing really well this year. And then at number 6, I got the Stars. It's probably the hottest team right now. They're 28-14-1. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. So they've been playing well, though. I think they beat your Rangers the other night.
Of course they did.
And then at number 7, I got the Wild. They've been struggling as of late, but they're 27-13-4. Their problem has been everybody is getting hurt for them. Kaprizov has been out. I think 3 of their top 6 defensemen are out with injuries. And I watched, like I said, I watched the game last night, and they were up 2-0 in the first period.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just from watching the game, for me, it seemed like they have the Boldy line, and then it kind of drops off, with the scoring. But they're hanging in there. They're dealing with the injuries. They're still playing, pretty decent. They're 6-4-0 in their last 10. So as long as they can keep together until they get some of them bodies healthy and get them back.
Is Spurgeon back? I see where he got hurt right around.
I don't think so. He didn't play last night. At least I didn't see him. The Devils are number 9, 26-15-5. Once again, I believe they beat your Rangers the other day.
Of course they did.
I actually saw some Florida playing the Devils the other night, and Tkachuk came down the boards, and he tried to play the puck up the boards, and he kind of alligator armed it and didn't touch the puck, and he got absolutely lit up by Tkachuk, and it was just a Donnybrook after that. So the games are starting to get a little bit more physical, which is good. It's starting to get towards that playoff style hockey. And at 10, I got an A and a B. I got the Canes at 26-15-3, and then I got the Leafs 27-16-2. Now, Toronto is the Atlantic leader right now with 56 points. Florida's hot on their tail with 55. Boston fell off a cliff. They're at 49 points. They're in the wild card spot right now, but they've been struggling mighty too, kind of like the Rangers. One of the other probably hot teams in the league right now, just as keep an eye on towards the playoff run here, is the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're 8-2-0 in their last 10. They've won 5 straight. Werenski is playing out of his mind. He leads their team in scoring, the D-man. He's got 50 points, and right now they're in the wild card spot. So they got 48 points. Like to get Carolina has 55, so there's 7 behind them. But if they keep playing the way they're playing, who knows? You know, they had the tragedy with Gaudreau brothers, and it's good to see this team finally playing well.
Would you say that's the biggest surprise of the NHL this year?
I would say that in the Caps.
No, definitely the Caps. I mean,
but Columbus is like they made the playoffs. I know it was a few years back. I think they played the Penguins, but I think they swept. If I'm not wrong, they swept not Toronto, but Tampa Bay. And I think that was after Tampa Bay won the President's Trophy or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they got Columbus, and Columbus, I think, swept them. I could be wrong. But that's kind of like, the poll, like the wild card spot in the West, you got Colorado at 55 points and then Calgary at 49. So, Colorado's been playing well as of late too, 7-2-1. But yeah, Ottawa is another team that's been playing pretty decent. They got 47 points, and the goals for and against, they're +4. And then everybody else that's in the wild card hunt or below are all negative. Even the two teams.
Boston.
Boston's negative 22.
Red Wings negative 15. Canadiens negative 12. Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of wild to me that like Ottawa, it's like you see those kind of numbers, you might have a blowout here or there, for and against or whatever, but I would probably assume that most of those games are pretty tight. And then, if you look at the West, Calgary's the last play a wild card spot. They're negative 11, and everybody's negative after that. But everybody ahead of them is all positive, which makes sense. If you're positive goals for you should be, higher than somebody that's in the red.
True.
Yeah, I mean your Rangers are only negative 10.
Yeah, but I mean, I know we like the last two things you've been on. We have literally did features on them, and it's just amazing. Like I said, how they went from being on top of the mountain, almost making the Stanley Cup, with the Final Four, and how they have become a team of dysfunction and team of trades and things of that nature. And it's kind of mind-boggling. Like you said, like we always say about the other sports, can't fire all the players, man. They wind up firing the coach, and I hope they don't fire
Laviolette.
What's his name?
Laviolette.
Laviolette. I don't. Yeah, you don't like him?
Nah. I mean, he just got the I would call it the resting bitch face. Like he always seems like he's pissed. You know what I mean? But I think he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, nothing satisfies that guy. Yes, he has the Bill Belichick it's on the system.
But it is what it is.
Right.
If you can coach, you can coach. Whether whatever your demeanor looks like, it really doesn't matter. And I thought that's like I was going to get into a little bit here of the Rangers, since it's been a little while since we talked about, like I was on to be able to talk about hockey. But since January 1st, the Rangers are 4-3. Zibanejad, he had a 6-game point streak.
Finally woke up.
And whoever they lost to the other night, was it Colorado?
I think it was Colorado. They lost overtime.
3-2.
Yeah.
That
mm-hmm.
He excuse me, he didn't get any points in that game, and that broke the streak. But Igor's back now, and I want to say it was like 6 goals in 3 games. So it's, 2 goals against. I mean, I think whatever the injury was, I think the mental break helped him tremendously also, where he could kind of just relax, deal with the injury, whatever, and then refocus. So I think he's been playing well, because I think all your games have been like 3-2, 2-1, nothing crazy.
Right.
But and then I saw, was it the January 6th, they picked up Arthur Kaliev on waivers from the Kings. And I kind of looked at his stats and stuff. No points since he's got there, but I haven't had a chance to be able to watch a Ranger game here recently. So I'll have to check them out, because they got Utah tonight in Utah.
They have the Utah Hockey Club. Yes.
You're just kind of looking at your schedule, and then you got the aforementioned hot Columbus Blue Jackets on the 18th. 19th, you got Montreal. 21st, you got Ottawa, who's playing well. And then you got the Flyers, and that's a divisional, the old Patrick division rival. So, that'll be fun. And then you got Colorado and Carolina rounding out the month. So some of those, games that we thought might be easy may not be so easy now, because Columbus is playing way better.
So let me ask you this: one of the hottest teams in the league, the Canadiens. Your thoughts on Montreal, the Canadiens?
I've seen a few of their games. I would say they got a very good young team.
Yes, young rookies on there, and
and I was trying to, because which I kind of found a little bit wild too, was like Suzuki's their captain, and he's I want to say he's been in the league. Let me see. I'm looking at the roster real quick. 5 years. So he's been in the year in league for a few years, but a lot of times that goes to Brendan Gallagher, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the league 12. But just looking, down the, they got Josh Anderson, Joel Armia, Cole Caulfield. He's really good. The Kirby Doc, Dvorak, Brendan Gallagher. This Lane Hudson kid, I believe he's a rookie from Michigan. This kid's been lighting it up. For a defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. He got 35 points, 3 goals, 32 assists. You're getting about almost 23 minutes a game. But the one game I did see, I can't remember who they were playing, but he came around from behind their own net, skated up towards the face-off dot, and just absolutely lasered a pass to the far blue line, right on the tape of one of the Canadiens for a breakaway in. And I was just like, dang. Not like any rookie, he's this new wave, I would say, of defensemen in the league. It used to be you want the guy that's 6'4", 220, blah, blah, blah. But now, the Hughes is from the Devils, and the other Hughes in Vancouver. A lot of these guys are, 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", because he's only 5'9", 158. That's not very big.
No, not for hockey. No,
not when you got Pat Maroon parked in front of the net, or Keith Tkachuk in front of or not Keith, Matthew. Tkachuk or Brady Tkachuk in the front of the net. Trying to move those guys, but they picked up Laine too, who was in Columbus. I know he's been out, and then my favorite defenseman on the planet, Arbor XJ or whatever. I can't pronounce that, but that dude, he is one tough customer. He will light you up. You got to keep your head up. But Mike Madison, on D. So they got a very kind of a mix. They got a couple. They got 4 guys that got 10 years experience, a couple of not 8 and 9, but a lot of them are rookies, between rookies and 5 years. So
Right.
their future, is going to be pretty bright. Like if they can continue to draft well and develop these guys at the NHL level, and that's one of the other teams that's been playing really well.
Correct.
So it's fascinating, like when you see like all these different teams and that have been at the bottom and they get draft picks and stuff like that. And you take a look at like kind of what Montreal has done. They kind of offloaded some of the veterans or whatever. They have a few, but they've got all these, rookie to 5 year players that they're building their core around. And now it's starting to show, on the ice that they're playing well. And then, you got other teams like Chicago, they get Bedard, he's really good, but and you got Taylor Hall and you got Foligno and stuff, but they just can't figure it out. Like the couple of years that they've had Bedard, it's not like they got much better. I mean, they've got 14 wins on the season in 44 games.
Well,
you know what I mean? And it's I know it's got to be frustrating for Bedard because everywhere he's probably played, they've been good, because of him. But now you're playing against grown men, and for a lot of money, and the competition's a lot harder. And he's still a great player, but they gotta figure something out.
right.
What are they going to do? And kind of like, his frustrations, we also got, like the Penguins. Like, I'm just, like, I usually watch a period of the game, and by that time, they've already pissed me off enough where I turn it off. Because their goaltending has been horrible. And they just put Jari on waivers. That leaves Ned and probably one of the AHL goalies that they'll bring up if he gets claimed. Hopefully he does, because he's only in his second year of a 5-year contract they gave him, and he's been struggling mighty. So
the Penguins are sellers for the upcoming trade deadline. Who's your buyers and sellers? I didn't mean to cut you off. Who's your buyers and sellers? But I did.
Well, kind of like full circle this back to the Rangers. You got Vancouver that has got, I don't even know what the deal is, but a ton of drama between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. I don't know. I just guess they can't stand each other, and they just can't get along. I don't know, but I heard possible rumors of different people speaking, what they're going to do with this, and they've even, I think, talked about on TNT Hockey Night is one of these, if they can't get along and there's that much of a distraction in the locker room, one of them's got to go, or both of them's got to go. And JT Miller, not just recently in the playoffs, carried that team,
Right.
but I want to say he played for the Rangers already at one point.
JT Miller, I think he did too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
From 2013 to 2017. And then he went to Tampa. But it wouldn't shock me if he goes back there, because the Rangers, they're going to make trades. Like, if you made it as far as you did last year and you basically come back with kind of the same team, minus the people that you poo-pooed on and traded in the middle of the season like they did,
The captain,
and that kind of thing, and you let Barclay Goodrow walk to, what was it, San Jose? That's probably beyond. A couple guys that you lost, basically the same team, and now you're barely 500. Something's got to change. And like I said, and I know that they really like him, Miller, so it wouldn't shock me if they try to get him from Vancouver. What it's going to cost them, who knows? Or they may say, hey, we want to keep him and move Pettersson.
Facts.
But I think it was is it March? I want to say the trade deadline's like March something. But a lot of those trades are going to happen well before that, just so they can get acquainted with their new teams. Because that's kind of like used to be, you pull up TSN, the actual sports center, and watch trade deadline, and there would actually be a bunch of trades with big name players. And the last probably 3 to 4 years, you see the trend where teams are going out earlier and getting the guy they want, and that way they can get some chemistry going before the deadline and before the playoffs start. So we'll see. Really, the other, thing that I got going on here is like Tavares. I saw Wednesday they were they were doing a drill from the face-off dot to the boards, or from the circle in, and they moved the net over. Looks like they were doing like low battles behind the net,
right,
kind of thing. And the video really didn't show what happened to him. It just like panned back to him, and saw that he was laying on the ice. But he's out day to day, and I'm going to guess a lower body injury.
It says here, if I may, from TSN Sports, it says, who's this from? We'd like to give people the credit here. The Toronto Maple Leafs forward John Tavares will be out week to week with a lower body injury, the team announced. The Leafs announced him on the injury reserve list Thursday and recalled forward Fraser Minton in a corresponding move. Tavares, 34, limped off the ice at Wednesday's practice after falling awkwardly in the corner. I didn't even see it, he says. Hopefully he is okay, head coach Craig Berube. After the session, the 34-year-old forward and former captain had 20 goals, 42 points in 43 games this season, so he's playing well. And Tavares has been a revelation in his 7th season. I didn't mean for that to play, but I don't know if y'all heard that, but
not really.
Yeah, okay. Before the injury, Tavares was paced to score his most goals in a season since his first with the Maple Leafs, when he scored 47 in 2018, 2019. So, and that's about it with that from TSN. So, like you said, the real sports center.
Yeah, that if anybody's interested and you love hockey and you don't know about it, tsn.ca. They cover all things hockey, World Juniors, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
But that's really all I got. See how Ovechkin does here the rest of the way. He got 38 games to get 22 goals, which would give him like 42 or so for the. I mean, for his age to get 40 some goals, that might be a task. But as long as he can stand in his office on the power play, that's a real possibility of him getting that.
Okay, I was just about to ask you that. I said, so you think this is a real possibility this year that Ov can get this done and be the all-time scorer?
Like, he's proved me wrong. Like I would think it. I mean, not wrong, but I would think that his stuff, his level of play, would kind of start to slowly diminish. For as long as he's been in the league.
Right.
And like, the dude never misses a game. So the fact that he broke his leg and was out, I think it was only 16 games. And I think that's more than he's missed the rest of his career combined. I think it is a testament to like just how much of a competitor this dude is. But yeah, like he's played 28 games and it has 20 goals. So they have 38 left, and he needs 22.
That's like a goal per or two. Well, you got to score every night.
So it's less like every other game.
Yeah.
And, chances are that everybody is well aware of it on his team.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to not only win, but also look out for him to try to set him up for scores. Correct?
Yes. And as well as they're playing, they're usually ahead, for the most part. I mean, They lost, 10 games?
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, there's the opportunity for him to be out late in the game and go for the empty netters. You know what I mean? So you could always pick up one that way.
Oh, but you got a problem with LeBron stat stuffing. I know this is not basketball,
but the difference is the stat stuffing is winning. Like the reason he can stat stuff is because they have an empty net because the other team is losing. So it's a positive for him. And, I'm sure I know probably Gretzky's probably got maybe 75 to 100 empty net goals in his career. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I don't foresee that from the hockey people, from the hockey fans and stuff like that, saying that, that's I don't want to make this into an NBA versus NHL, but
I know what you were doing.
But I don't foresee that. Yes, you made the point that, hey, the NHL, you have an empty netter. Hey, it means you're usually up.
It's definitely because you're up.
Yes. Yes.
But
excuse me. Yes.
But what's funny is I watched it was doubleheader night on TNT, and I caught the end of the Sabres beating the Hurricanes last night, and they tried for an empty net goal, Buffalo, and McLeod that used to play for the Oilers is on Buffalo now. He already had 2 in the game, and he put the Jets on trying to get to the puck, and Brett Burns just absolutely Paul Bunyan slashed his stick like straight over the tops, smashed it in 2. So he got awarded the goal because of the penalty, because there's no goaltender. And they interviewed him after the game on the bench, and he's like, I don't know, do I get credit for that? And they were like, you should, or whatever. But it's like, that's probably one of his first hat tricks in the NHL. Do you think he cares that it was an empty netter? No,
of course not.
No, I mean, to get 3 goals in an NHL game is a great feat for that guy. But like, I'm looking at like Washington though, and like he'll have those opportunities. But I if I actually had the time, I would just love to sit down and plot on like the ice, like how they do, like when they show the shots or whatever. When you look at the game on the internet and whatever, just like where all these 873 goals were scored from.
Dan, I think we can come up with something like that the next time you come on. How about that?
Because I think left side of the goalie, or if you're looking from the blue line in, it's left side face-off circle, it's going to be awfully red with the red circles of where he scored his goals from. But that's the thing is, he's very good on the power play. He's got a great slap shot, and when he retires, they got to put a number 8 right on that side of the ice, on both, like catty corner on both ends of the ice. But like looking at their team, like this isn't a team either that like a lot of people like after watching them struggle a little bit last year and get in that wild card race, but like they got Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren as their goaltenders. Oh yeah.
Producer, can you put us on another screen so we don't be cut off?
But yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that looks about right. But like, they got 2 good goalies. That Logan Thompson played in Vegas. I think he won a cup there, and then there's some names on here that like Dylan Strome, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Tom Wilson, Ovechkin, and then you got Chikrin, Carlson, Rasmus Sandin, Mangiapane, Nick Dowd, Riemsdyk,
right,
Duhaime. But then but there's other guys that you really don't know. That like this Ethan Frank kid, I believe he just came up and he's played 3 games and has got 2 goals and an assist in 3 games for them.
Well,
but it's kind of like they've revamped their team by, trading away and getting draft picks and, and getting some of these other guys that are on their roster now. And the chemistry's there, and the way they want to play, that's the way these guys play. So, they're playing way better. Like they could probably go into a Rangers funk the rest of the way and still make the playoffs. That's how well they set themselves up this year at this point, 44 games in.
Gotcha. Anything else for us, Dan, before we get out of here?
We just got, was it the 16th?
Yep.
So little less than a month. We got the Four Nations tournament coming up in Montreal and Boston. Was it Finland, Sweden, Canada, and U.S. instead of the All-Star game this year?
Mm-hmm.
So that should be very entertaining to watch.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. But that's really all I got going on for this edition of the Hockey News.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's Dan K, the hockey dude. I also want to mention the Winter Classic will be at Marlins Park, Lone Depot Field in Miami. January 1st?
I believe so.
I'm going to that. Yes.
I would hope that they do that. I would like to see it rather like on the 31st.
Yeah.
Like it's been than try to compete with all the football games.
I agree. But that should be a great thing. Rangers and the Panthers. Panthers will be, of course, the home team, and Rangers. They bring a lot of crowd, a lot of home crowd because a lot of New Yorkers live in South Florida. So that's just.
But to be honest, that would be a good outdoor game to go to because you're not going to freeze your ass off.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. That one, you might be able to get away with some sandals and a t-shirt.
Nah, the roof will be open because I'm down in South Florida. The roof will be open. What's the temperature right now? It's currently a little chilly for down here, but it's 67 degrees. The roof will be open. I'm going to that game, man.
You might have to look in the prices for that.
Yeah, man. So
because I might try to see if I can get that off.
Well, come on down. We'll definitely do it, man.
Hey, I'll bring my Ranger hat. Igor.
He's up here trolling us, man. Listen, we're going to get out of here, man. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L1, your host and moderator. For Dan K, the hockey dude, for our producer, D-Dubs, behind the scenes. Thank you, sir, for doing your thing, man. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Our producer, are you going to take us out of here, or should I hit the button? He sounds like he got it. Hey, y'all have a great week. Have a great weekend. Yo, we'll see y'all Monday for Monday Night Blitz. Peace. Oh, it sounds like I got to do it. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.